English 9. Unit 1. The Saviour of Mankind. Learning Objectives. By the end of this unit, students will learn the reading skills of scheming, scanning, and summarizing. Know and learn about the mission of the Rasul, essay. Learn how his teachings changed the world. To recognize and use adjectives in sentences. Use of dictionary and thesaurus. Utilize appropriate informational sources like encyclopedias and internet. Pre-reading. Mention the condition of Arabia before Islam. How did Islam change the lives of the people? Who is the last Rasul of Allah Almighty? For the teacher. Conduct pre-reading activity to arouse students' curiosity about the life of the Rasul, essay. Make them predict about the text to follow by looking at the title and the illustration. 1. Arabia is a land of unparalleled charm and beauty, with its trackless deserts of sand dunes in the dazzling rays of a tropical sun. Its starry sky has excited the imagination of poets and travelers. It was in this land that the Rasul, essay, was born, in the city of Mecca, which is about 50 miles from the Red Sea. Where is Mecca situated? 2. The Arabs possessed a remarkable memory and were an eloquent people. Their eloquence and memory found expression in their poetry. Every year a fair was held for poetical competitions at Ukaz. It is narrated that Hamad said to Caliph Walid bin Yazid, "I can recite to you, for each letter of the alphabet, 100 long poems, without taking into account short pieces. And all of that composed exclusively by poets before the promulgation of Islam." It is no small wonder that Allah Almighty chose the Arabic language for his final dispensation and the preservation of his word. What type of competition was held Ukaz? 3. In the 5th and 6th centuries, mankind stood on the verge of chaos. It seemed that the civilization which had taken 4,000 years to grow had started crumbling. At this point in time, Allah Almighty raised a Rasul from among themselves who was to lift the humanity from ignorance into the light of faith. For when Hazrat Muhammad, S.A., was 38 years of age, he spent most of his time in solitude and meditation. In the cave of Hira, he used to retire with food and water and spend days and weeks in remembrance of Allah Almighty. 5. The period of waiting had come to a close. His heart was overflowing with profound compassion for humanity. He had a pressing urge to eradicate wrong beliefs, social evils, cruelty, and injustice. The moment had arrived when he was to be bestowed with Nabuwat. One day, when he was in the cave of Hira, Hazrat Gabriel, A.A., came and conveyed to him the following message of Allah Almighty. For the teacher. While reading activity with appropriate questions may be conducted, guide the students to consult an atlas to locate the Muslim world in the atlas. Read in the name of thy Lord who created man from a clot of congealed blood. Read, and thy Lord is most bountiful, who taught the use of the pen, taught man that which he knew not. Quran, Surah 96, verse 1-5. 6. The revelation of the divine message which continued for the next 23 years had begun, and the Rasul, S.A., had arisen to proclaim oneness of Allah, Tawheed, and the unity of mankind. His mission was to destroy the nexus of superstition, ignorance, and disbelief, set up a noble conception of life and lead mankind to the light of faith and divine bliss. What was the mission of the Rasul, S.A.? 7. Since this belief was threatening their dominance in the society, the pagan Arabs started to mount pressure on the Rasul, S.A., and his followers. They wanted them to renounce their cause and take to idol worshipping. On one occasion, they sent a delegation to the Rasul's, S.A., kind and caring uncle, Abu Talib. They told him to restrain the Rasul, S.A., from preaching Allah Almighty's message, or face their enmity. Finding himself in a Dilemma, he sent for his nephew, and explained to him the situation. The Rasul, S.A., responded with these memorable words. My dear uncle, if they put the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left, even then I shall not abandon the proclamation of the oneness of Allah, Tawheed. I shall set up the true faith upon the earth or perish in the attempt. Why did the pagan Arabs send a delegation to the Rasul's, S.A., uncle? 8. The Rasul's, S.A., uncle was so impressed with his nephew's firm determination that he replied, Son of my brother, go thy way, none will dare touch thee. I shall never forsake thee. 9. And the Rasul, S.A., did go the way Allah Almighty had chosen for mankind. Imbued with divine guidance and firm resolve, the Rasul, S.A., encountered all the challenges with grace and dignity. In no time he elevated man to the highest possible level in both spiritual and worldly domains. He was also a driving force behind Arab conquests, which have created an everlasting impression on human history. No wonder he is universally acknowledged as the most influential figure in history. In the words of Michael Hart, a great historian, Muhammad, S.A., however, was responsible for both the theology of Islam and its main ethical and moral principles. In addition, he played a key role in proselytizing the new faith, and in establishing the religious practices. In fact, as the driving force behind the Arab conquests, he may well rank as the most influential political leader of all time. The Arab conquests of the 7th century have continued to play an important role in human history, down to the present day. 10. Such a thorough transformation of man and society owes to the Rasul's, S.A., deep faith in Allah Almighty, to his love for humanity, and to the nobility of his character. Indeed, his life is a perfect model to follow. In reply to a question about the life of the Rasul, S.A., Hazrat Aisha, R.A., said, his morals and character are an embodiment of the Holy Quran. The final word about the Saviour of mankind goes to the Holy Quran. O Nabi! Surely, we have sent you as a witness, and as a bearer of good news, and as a warner, and as one inviting to Allah by his permission, and as a light-giving torch. Quran, Surah 33, verse 45-46. Theme. The Rasul, S.A., the last Rasul of Allah Almighty, has the greatest influence on the mankind. His teachings and his life is a source of motivation and guidance for humanity. Glossary. Unparalleled, unmatched. Dunes, sandy hills. Dazzling, extremely bright. Tropical, very hot. Eloquence, fluent. Promulgation, advent. Dispensation, spreading of message. Verge, edge. Chaos, confusion. Crumble, break into pieces. Solitude, the state of being alone, especially when one feels pleasant. Meditation, thinking deeply in silence, especially for religious reasons. Compassion, a strong feelings of sympathy for people who are suffering and a desire to help them. Eradicate, remove. Bestowed with, confer as gift. Proclaim, declare. Nexus, a complicated series of connections. Pagan, disbeliever. Renounce, to state publicly that you no longer have a particular belief. Demolish, destroy. Dilemma, a difficult situation, forced to choose one of two alternatives. Theology, religious beliefs. Everlasting, never-ending. Proselytizing, preaching. Transformation, complete change in somebody. Embodiment, living example. Oral activity. Form groups and discuss the aspects of the life of the Rasul, S.A., related to justice and compassion. Comprehension. A. Reread paragraph 5 of the lesson and identify the sentences showing general statement, specific statement, Sometimes a topic sentence shows a general statement and supporting details are given as specific statement. B. Answer the following questions. 1. What type of land Arabia is? 2. Why was the Holy Quran sent in Arabic? 3. For which ability were the Arabs famous? 4. What was the condition of mankind before the Rasul, S.A.? 5. Why did the Rasul, S.A., stay in the cave of Hira? 6. What was the first revelation? 7. Why did the pagan Arabs threaten the Rasul's, S.A., uncle? 8. What did Hazrat Aisha, R.A., say about the life of the Rasul, S.A.? For the teacher. Students should be asked to discuss how the teachings of the Rasul, S.A., can reform the present-day society. Help students summarize the main points of the essay. Help students understand paragraph and its main components. Vocabulary. A. Consult a thesaurus and find out the synonyms of the following words. Dazzling, imagination, remarkable, composed, preservation, bestowed. Message, superstition, abandon. To predict the meaning, we have to read the context carefully and look for suffixes and base words. Affixation is a process of word formation by adding a prefix or suffix to a root word. Author, co-author. Necessary, unnecessary. Fair, unfair. Moral, immoral. Tie, untie. Danger, in danger. Conscious, unconscious. Fortune, misfortune. Kind, kindness. Care, careless. Postpone, postponement. Adjust, adjustment. Treat, treatment. Meaning, meaningful. Hard, hardship. Friend, friendship. Fond, fondness. Happy, happiness. Comfort, comfortable. For the teacher. Help students use the thesaurus to locate the synonyms closest to the meaning of the given words in the context. B. Add appropriate prefixes or suffixes to the following root words to make other words. 1. Belief, parallel, justice, flinching, knowledge, construction. C. Match column A with B to find the exact meanings of the words. Column A. Charm. Compose. Civilization. Faith. Eradicate. Eloquent. Bestowed with. Demolish. Proselytizing. Everlasting. Embodiment. Chaos. Verge. Wonder. Dignity. Column B. Eliminate. Belief. Right. Culture. Attraction. Confer as gift. Fluent. Preaching. Destroy. Living example. Never ending. Edge. Confusion. Pride. Surprise. D. Use the following words in the sentences. Century, conquest, influential, determination, delegation, quietly, urge, ignorance. For the teacher. Help students understand the relationship between words and their meanings. Grammar. Adjectives. A word used with a noun to describe or point out a person, place, or thing, or to tell the number or quantity, is called an adjective. For example, famous poet. Choose the correct adjective. 1. Ashfaq Ahmed was a writer. A. Famed. B. Famous. C. Famously. D. Infamous. 2. This is a very seminar. A. Information. B. Informed. C. Informative. D. Informing. 3. My mother becomes. If I'll get home late. A. Anxiety. B. Anxious. C. Anxieties. D. Anxiously. 4. It is. To get the correct information from the university office. A. Advisable. B. Advisable. C. Advising. D. Advised. 5. Who is for. this chaos. A. Responding. B. Responsible. C. Responsive. D. Responded. A. Find out 10 adjectives from the lesson. B. Use these adjectives in sentences. For the teacher. Help students find out the adjectives. Conditionals, Type 1, Open condition. Conditionals of this type tell us that something will happen if a certain condition is fulfilled. The condition may or may not be fulfilled. For example, if he works hard, he will win the competition. C. Complete the sentences using the correct form of verb given below. Invite, go, play, sell, help, allow, win, inform, pass. 1. If I see Aslam, I'll him to dinner tomorrow. 2. If I out, I'll turn off the TV. 3. If you tricks on people, they will not trust you again. 4. If the farmer all his kiwi fruit in the market, he will be very pleased. 5. I'll you with your homework if I can. 6. I'll you to ride my bike if you like. 7. Will you a message to Auntie Sophie if you see her? 8. If you don't now, you will be late from school. 9. Will you me if you're going to be late? 10. If he works hard, he will the competition. D. Put the correct verb in blanks. 1. I living in this house since 1970. Has been, have been, was, will be. For the teacher. Help students recognize the structure and use of conditional type 1. 2. He here yesterday. Has come, came, will come, come. 3. If you I shall be available. Will come, come, have come, came. 4. He take the examination next year. Will have, will be, shall. 5. He to us tomorrow. Comes, will come, came, had come. A. Summarize paragraph 2 of the lesson in 3 to 4 sentences. B. Write an essay on the kindness of the Rasul, essay. 170 to 200 words. Oral communication skills. A. Ask students to make groups and discuss the social evils present in the society along with their remedial measures. For the teacher. Illustrate use of tenses learned earlier. Guide students to write the summary of the passage in their own words, highlighting. Help students use appropriate expressions in the discussion.